Appreciate everyone that is here live and listening, and thank you very much to the Webacy team for taking the time to come and talk to us today about your product. I'm Top Hat Cat. I'm going to be hosting you today. Excuse me. We're also going to be taking questions in the guest questions channel. So if anybody has questions along the way, be sure to drop those and we'll get them answered. So if you guys could just maybe let's go around and each of you take a brief moment to introduce yourselves and just kind of let us know a little bit of your background.
Sure, I'll start. I'm Bobby. I have been with the Webacy team since June. I'm on the growth team here. I've been involved with NFTs since very late 2020. Started around 2021 as my first NFT purchase, which is my profile picture. I've done some stuff with DAOs, started a DAO. It's now called Neon DAO, part of the Tribute Labs umbrella. And yeah, I've just been very involved in the NFT space. Saw the Webacy project and was very excited to see something solving an issue that I saw so many people facing, and joined the team. And it's been a great ride thus far. So that's a brief intro for me.
Good intro, Bobby. I'll take it over. My name's Wes. I've been with Webacy for quite a bit now, since about February, April. I got into NFTs back in around April 2021. Launched two of my own projects, one around July time, another one in December, and then joined the Webacy team to also handle growth and partnerships. And so far, it's been a great ride.
Awesome. Thanks, Bobby and Wes. Hi, my name is Micah. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Webacy. I actually first got introduced to crypto in 2014. So if you're familiar with Cirque du Soleil, I had some coworkers who were ultra nerdy, but they were mining Bitcoin. So that's when I learned about blockchain tech. In school, I studied cryptography and AI ML at Stanford. And then most recently, I was working as a cybersecurity engineer at Microsoft. But over 2017 DeFi summer and NFT in 2021 have just been in the space. But the founding team here at Webacy, we really we incorporated in August of 2021 last year, and that's when we launched. But the founding team, we all had experiences of safety and security or lack of it in the space, and we knew that there needed to be tools and options built to better improve that, especially if we're going to onboard the critical mass that's going to be necessary for blockchain to thrive and survive in the future. So Webacy was built. We have a bunch of awesome features that are out and live today, which Bobby and Wes will chat about, but that is our founding story.
Awesome. Yeah, appreciate that, everybody. Some interesting stories. We got some DAO involvement, some project founders, and a nice spread of expertise there. That's interesting, though. Cirque du Soleil. You go from doing flips to flipping JPEGs?
Exactly.
Love that. That's cool as hell. All right. Well, sweet. Appreciate the introductions. If you could, let's sort of just get into high level. What is Webacy? I think most of us here have an idea. There was an announcement that was made yesterday. I know that we are in partnerships, so I think most people are familiar. But let's pretend we're not, and just kind of give us a high level overview of what you're looking to accomplish.
Yeah, sure. I'll take that. As Micah was saying, Webacy was originally started due to both of the co-founders experiencing an unfortunate event. And it was very focused on the digital will aspect of the platform. And as time has gone on, it's become more of a focus of wallet protection and just creating a safer Web3 in general. And so Webacy is just trying to get these tools into the user's basically toolbox and help protect them in this wild west that we call the Web3, where there's no undo button if you click a bad link or you sign a malicious transaction. So we're trying to fight the scammers. And since the founding, it has we've been building out different features, and we just launched our V2 only 2 weeks ago, and so we had about 1,000 people that were the very earliest beta users that were using our V1, giving us great feedback, and now we've built out what I believe to be a beautiful platform that is very user friendly, and users can come in and protect their wallet. Just like a brief overview of kind of what the tools are that help protect you. So we have a panic button, and what this is if any of you were around earlier this year during like February, where there was the mysterious hack of like some people were accusing cool pets, other people were accusing other things, but everyone just was kind of scrambling to revoke cash, and they were just trying to revoke basically every contract that they've interacted with, and in the end, like revoke cash, the entire site got shut down, and just from so much activity. So instead of that, with this panic button, you're able to come in, select the panic button, and transfer all of your assets to a completely safe wallet in one transaction. And if you've ever done any bulk transfers, like OpenSea limits it to 20 NFTs. It's very difficult. You have to, if you're doing a bunch of different collections, you have to go through and sign all of the approvals right then. So it's definitely not the most practical thing, especially in times of an emergency. And so this panic button, was built to just allow all of the NFTs and all of the crypto to be transferred to this ideally just completely safe, wallet that has not interacted with any of the same contracts as the potentially compromised wallet. So, the panic button is a very good feature that we've actually seen people use in the past to save some of their assets. So another feature that we have is the backup wallet. And what this is essentially, right now, if you were to lose access to your keys or to your seed phrase, you're basically out of luck. We hear so much about, just all of the lost Bitcoin over the years. And obviously that applies to Ethereum as well, and a lot of these NFTs. And so once you actually deploy one of our protection plans, if you were to lose access to that wallet, you can grab your backup wallet, connect to the site, and actually pull those assets into the backup wallet so they're safe and they're not just gone forever like you would normally, experience if you lost access to that main wallet. And then also we have the digital will, which, I already kind of talked about earlier, and that was the initial idea that launched the platform.
Gotcha. Yeah, those are really interesting. I'd like to dive into each of those specifically, and maybe expand on them a little bit more, if that's cool.
Absolutely.
Sweet. So let's start with the backup wallet. I'm curious, what sort of access or what sort of permission do you need to give Webacy in order to have full access to a wallet? Like if I lose my ledger in a landfill, right? Like how could I possibly recover that? Or if I forget the password, right? Like the infamous Bitcoin, guy's got one attempt left or whatever, and just stares at his cold wallet all day. Like how do you get access from a wallet that you don't have access to? If you can maybe just expand on that.
Yeah. So I think it's very important to add that all of this is non-custodial, non-access. So Webacy as a company, we do not have access to any of your assets, and we can't move anything. So I think, with that information, it kind of makes a lot more sense, with everything we're about to talk about. So, ideally, when you set up your backup wallet, so you said if you lost your ledger in a landfill, you are setting it up, your backup wallet, to a wallet that has a different seed phrase. If you want to get a very high OPSEC, the seed phrase for your backup wallet is stored in a different physical location. So if your house burned down, you lost your ledger, your laptop, all of that, you're still safe. And then when you actually go through with the protection plan, you are deploying a smart contract. We just put it into language that anybody can understand. So when you're coming in through our UI, and you're writing the digital will and you're assigning the assets that you want to give to specific beneficiaries, all of that is just, very user friendly. And what you see, paints a very clear picture of what your will looks like. But, behind the scenes, what is really, what Webacy is built on is the smart contract. All the nuts and bolts is handled by us. So you're deploying the smart contract that executes exactly what you want, without having to actually know how to code it.
Okay, and would I need to, as a user, protect in some way the access to that contract? Like, is that another layer of the vector of attack? Like, is that something I need to keep, or is that something that you guys kind of make sure it's protected?
So it's just a smart contract that is, deployed on the blockchain. So everything is encrypted, first off. And Micah can go into more of the technical details here.
Yeah, I can jump in. Yeah, so
Okay.
each individual smart contract is deployed and owned by that owner's wallet. So really that smart contract can only be edited, deleted, controlled, managed, changed by the owner of that wallet. And same thing with the backup wallet. So assuming you as a user are setting up your backup wallet as a wallet that you own and you operate, it's the same OPSEC as controlling your normal wallet as you would today. So you keep your wallet protected, the access to the wallet protected, your smart contract is safe because the only thing that can access that smart contract is your wallet and yours alone. Even us as a company, we can't do anything for whatever you've set up on the smart contract.
And I think just to add on to that, I think the best understanding of this, obviously, is being in Metaverse HQ, and you guys are very well equipped with buying and selling NFTs. So, all of you have probably listed an NFT on OpenSea before. And if you know, the very first time you go to list an NFT of a specific collection, you have to sign that very small approval. It's like $1 or so, not even. It's normally like 60 cents. You sign that one transaction, and then you're able to just sign the message to list it, for 2 ETH or whatever, your listing price is. And what you're doing at that point is you're approving OpenSea to, hey, if someone comes and pays this amount that I set, they're able to move the assets. You get the ETH, they get your NFT that you just listed. So in our case, instead of signing that approval to OpenSea, you're signing that approval to your backup wallet. So it's almost like, instead of giving OpenSea permission or Webacy permission, you're giving your backup wallet permission to basically come in and pull those assets to safety.
Okay, perfect. That was the link that I needed. Thank you. I appreciate that. Makes it a lot clearer. I'm picturing, losing access to your wallet somehow, and then that wallet being the one that's in control of that contract. I'm thinking, like, how does that help? I gotcha. You can assign a separate wallet that has permissions to move stuff in and out of your wallet. That's pretty brilliant. I like that. Okay, so let's talk about the panic button, because this is something that I think has immense utility in the NFT space. Once you've kind of been compromised, there's just this panic that ensues afterwards. We had an unfortunate incident last week where a member of MVHQ had their credentials compromised, and it was actually like kind of a bittersweet moment. It was kind of beautiful to watch, because we had 20, 30 people that were all working from different angles to try and help secure some of the most high value assets that the member had still in their wallet, and checking things that were staked, and just the works. Like, we had everybody working together to try and do that. So if this could potentially do the same thing in one press of a button, then it sounds magnificent. It sounds like a really good use case. So is there any other finer details that you want to add on to this? Any other extra functionality or thought that went into it? Or is it just literally as it sounds, press a button and get your shit out of there?
Yeah, I mean, I think you have a pretty good understanding. It's almost like in that time of panic, you're just, I guarantee, a lot of the recommendations were, hey, go to Revoke Cash or on Etherscan, remove the approvals. Everybody's kind of looking through their recent transactions of like, which one could it have been? Did you sign any messages? All of that. So, while the panic is ensuing and you're just trying to identify what to do, those are precious seconds. So the panic button is almost like, hey, you transfer all your assets, even if you're not for sure that it's compromised. It's just like, now you can take a breath. You can go back in and start identifying what could have potentially been the issue. But all of your assets are now, moved. And like we were mentioning earlier about the backup wallet, how it's ideally, different seed phrase. Like for me, my backup wallet is like a very cold storage vault wallet. So I don't, connect it to anything. It's more of just an address for me. And so that's my backup wallet, because I know that if it gets transferred there, then, that same potential malicious transaction that was signed could not have possibly affected that other wallet.
Yeah, absolutely. We do have a guest question here, which is relevant to this. So what would happen if you don't have any gas funds in the main wallet, the one that you're attempting to drain? What happens in that scenario?
Yeah, I can take this one for you, Bobby. So Mike can confirm it as well. So we've talked about it as a team, and we have thought about adding a community fund, and the fund would basically cover the funds. So if you accidentally clicked on something malicious and it was a sweeper bot that was just instantly draining the ETH from your wallet, you'd be able to use the community fund to cover the transaction.
So I'll also chime in here. So that's something we've talked about. It's not implemented right now. There's a couple ways to think about this. So if the original wallet, let's say, was drained to 0 ETH, if your backup wallet has any ETH in it, you can actually log in with your backup wallet and recover the funds like we talked about with the backup wallet functionality in the first place. So that's one piece there. Another thing that we've actually actively been working on is utilizing Flashbots to front run like a ETH drainer bot. So that's something that we could also do, but that's not something that's part of the product line right now. But in the case where you have like a ETH drainer bot, for example, and your original wallet is compromised, you have no ETH to transfer anything out, your backup wallet can come right in and recover those assets.
Very cool. Sounds awesome. I guess an extension similar kind of question is there any sort of like thought or functionality into tracking down assets or NFTs specifically that are staked or crypto that is staked in order to unstake that and get that out, or is that not possible?
So at this moment, we can only work with the assets that are actually in your wallet. But of course, with DeFi, and DeFi is something we serve because we serve all ERC tokens, 20s, 721s, and 1155s. That's a kind of a roadmap item. But for now, we integrate with your non-custodial wallet, with your hot wallet, with your hardware wallet, and so on. But if it's not in the wallet itself, we cannot currently find and track those down.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. Luckily, scammers have a lot of trouble with that as well. So it's usually one of the few things that are left behind when your wallet gets drained is, your shit coins that are staked away that nobody's looking for. So I guess it's not a priority item, I suppose.
Absolutely. Well, one thing we do allow is that you can actually support multiple wallets on our platform. So the security suite that we launched 2 weeks ago, that everyone has access to, you can add multiple different wallets and track all of the assets of different wallets all in one dashboard. So that's one thing is great because it's, at this point, I personally have a couple wallets. It's hard to keep track of all of them, and this is one way to manage your whole portfolio.
Okay, yeah, I didn't realize that. So there's a whole kind of portfolio management angle to this as well, just to keep track of everything. Very cool. Okay, well, let's talk about the third one then, the digital will. Probably not super interesting or sexy to talk about, but they are important nonetheless. So could you maybe talk about the digital will aspect and what that looks like and how that plays out?
Yeah, absolutely. So when you come into the platform, which I'll be sharing my screen, kind of giving you the walkthrough of how that would work. The first thing you're going to do is decide who will be receiving your assets if something were to happen. And so right now, you just need a wallet address for them. There are some other things in the roadmap that we can touch on a little bit later, but you'll come in, you'll just write, a name and then a wallet address, and then you will be able to go through your wallet and decide, hey, I want my son to have my CryptoPunk. I want my spouse to have my Metaverse HQ tokens. And you will go through and essentially write your will. This NFT goes to this person. I want this percentage of, say, my USDC. I want 33% of each to go to my 3 beneficiaries. And then when you deploy the smart contract, that is publishing your will. And so when you're doing this, it is deploying a smart contract, but it is very user friendly, and you're just able to go through and assign all of these different assets. And for it to actually trigger, there is what we have called a heartbeat sensor. So this is looking at your wallet. If you do any type of thing that proves that you must be alive on Etherscan, so you sign a transaction, you send ETH, to the point where there has to be someone on the other end, that clock will reset. And right now, we have a default of 12 months of inactivity. And so once 12 months of inactivity hits, we have our dead man switch trigger. And none of your assets will move. They'll still be in your wallet. But what will happen is those beneficiaries that you set up, they will be able to come in and claim those assets that you dedicated specifically to them. So, if your son comes in, there will be the assets there just waiting for him, and he'll be able to claim and, transfer all of them into his wallet.
Gotcha. Very interesting. 12 months. If you're not trading, you're not in the space, you're dead to us, right?
Yeah, and there's a lot of functionality that's coming on the roadmap. So if this is a digital will that is for your Vault wallet that probably won't have very many transactions, we're working on multiple wallet support where that heartbeat sensor will also restart when, say, your hot wallet does a transaction or your main wallet does a transaction. So it won't just be like, oh man, I forgot, and now my deranged cousin that I used to be, used to have in my will came in and claimed my assets. It won't be anything like that.
Gotcha. Understood. Yeah. Now it's got me thinking about how many wallets out there, whose owners met their end, and now their assets are just stuck in there forever. I suppose that maybe a lot of collections are impacted by that. Just dead supply almost. It's just it can't be moved and stuff. So this seems like a remedy to that.
If you want a number count, this is Bitcoin only, but they say anywhere from 20 to 25% of all Bitcoin is lost forever because of stuff like this. So either loss of access or, the user passing away. And I would say it's probably a comparable number across all tokens and NFTs and so on. It's kind of wild.
Man, that's a much larger number than I thought was coming. Man, so you guys are kind of fighting the deflationary nature of the life cycle, huh?
Someone's got to do it.
I like it. All right. Well, cool. So I've got some questions personally. It seems like we may have some guest questions coming in here too. Were you guys going to do a demo or anything like that, or can we just get straight into some questions?
Yeah, completely up to you. I have the demo all ready to go, but if you'd rather just ask away, and we want to be very mindful of your time as well. If this, you want to end this at 7:30. No. These go for an hour or longer. Just as long as it takes, it's going to need you guys to get your whole point across. So if you want, we can go ahead and go with the demo, and then we can sort of just accumulate questions along the way, and then we can just knock them out at the end. Yeah, absolutely. I can share my screen right now, and I'll show you exactly how to get into this. I think before we start with the demo, I think it's a good idea to talk about the benefits of what owning a Metaverse HQ NFT and being a Metaverse HQ member actually gets you. So you'll have a better idea when you're going through this of what you'll be able to do. And so we've been working with Mitch and the team, and all Metaverse HQ members will have 6 months of access to this software, 2 free protection plans. So you'll get a free protection plan like we talked about earlier when you come in and actually deploy that smart contract. It'll just be gas fees. And then say in 2-3 months you buy a new valuable NFT and you want to add it to your will and add it to your backup wallet, you'll also be able to do that for free. And so that that's normally something that's we charge a very small fee, but 0.04 to 0.08 ETH, which will just be completely free for Metaverse HQ members. If you actually go through and set up a plan with us during your season pass is what we're calling it timeframe, there will also be a POAP with potential later utility that would be very beneficial to the users. So maybe pricing benefits at the end of the window. And so that's what all the Metaverse HQ members will receive. And then also you'll have access to our team for our personal calendars. So we will share our Calendly, and you'll be able to, hey, if you have any questions after this, if you would like a walkthrough, so you make sure that you deploy this, your digital will and your backup wallet completely perfect, we'll be more than happy to hop on a call with you. You can share your screen, or we'll share our screen, and we'll, it's almost like a white glove service to make sure that there's no confusion and you're all set up, ready to go.
Fantastic. Love that. Thanks for the extra, the extra hand there.
Yeah, no problem. So can you see my screen right now?
Yep. Looks good.
Awesome. Great. So I'll just show you from the start, how to get to this point. So if you go to webacy.com, that's our home base, you'll just be able to come up here and hit login. And once you press login, it'll send you to app.webacy.com if you just want to go directly there. And then right here, you will connect your wallet. So right now, this would be the wallet that contains your Metaverse HQ pass. But I know a lot of people are like, hey, I store my Metaverse HQ NFTs in my vault, and I just want to use the backup feature. So we will also be able to manually approve, your addresses if you would like a different address to gain access to this as well. And we will share a pre-mint to collect those and manually upload them as well. So you will not have to worry about, connecting the wallet with your Metaverse HQ NFT if you do not feel comfortable doing that. But right here, you will be able to connect your wallet, and it will read the contents, see if you're either manually whitelisted or own the Metaverse HQ NFT, and then you will go into our dashboard. So here is an example of the dashboard. It'll show the total value of this specific wallet. You can see that I named it Bobby's Wallet. And then this is on a test net. So normally you will see the picture of the NFT here. And it'll pull the real floor value, so you have an idea. But you can see here that I've protected 4 NFTs to the backup wallet that I named Cold Storage. So if I were to execute the panic button, which you can see is right here, and if I click this button, it will send me directly to a MetaMask transaction with preset fast gas, and I will just have to sign it, and all of those protected assets will get sent there immediately. But you would see that these are the 4 assets that I've decided to protect, and those will be the ones that actually get transferred if a panic button is triggered. And then if you look to the right of that, here are just 2 sample, it says W, I named it wife, but this is for the beneficiaries. So this is showing me, hey, I set up a digital will and I assigned these assets to this specific beneficiary. So in this case, there are 2 NFTs here that if the dead man switch is triggered, my wife will be able to come in and actually claim those assets specifically. And yeah, so this dashboard just paints a picture, shows you the value of your wallet and the different value of the assets that are inside of it. And so if there are any questions on this step.
I doubt it. I think you explained it beautifully. It's a very intuitive dashboard. It makes a lot of sense. So yeah, I think we got it.
Awesome. So, I just mentioned that I already have this protected plan. It's all set up. But when you get here for the first time, you will go to, right now it says update protection, but it'll just say, create your protection. And what we've already mentioned before, but that first step that you're going to do is set up your backup wallet. Actually, I might just make a new wallet. Oh, there we go. So right here, when you're first setting it up, you can decide, hey, I don't even want to use the crypto will. I just want to create a backup wallet, and that is also completely fine. And so that first step that you're going to do, so I have like a small free onboarding checklist that I like to give people when they schedule calls with me. It's very short. It's basically, hey, have an idea of what that wallet address is that you would like for your backup wallet. Because some people come in and they're like, oh, I was just gonna, hit add account on my MetaMask. And while you can do that and everything would still work, I don't recommend that just from the aspect of, hey, if you lose complete access to your laptop or your MetaMask account, then you'd just be completely out of luck. So ideally it is, like I mentioned earlier, cold storage, different seed phrase, all that. So you can see right here, I named it cold storage, put in the address, and I'm good to go. And you can also add multiple. So if you don't want that one vector of failure, hey, I could add multiple backup wallets that either one will have the same capabilities to be able to come in and pull those assets into their backup wallet. And so when you actually trigger the panic button, you'll just have one extra step of clicking which wallet you want to send it to, and then it'll go, MetaMask, sign, sent there immediately, and now your assets are saved. So at this point, this is where, I mentioned earlier, I didn't have everything protected. I just did some specific things so you could see the difference. So you'll just go through your assets and decide what you want to add. So if you want to add everything, you can do that. And now everything is added. But if we only want to add some stuff, you can go through especially if it's something where it's like, hey, I literally have this listed at the floor on OpenSea right now. I don't want to even worry about it. That's something where you would do that. So this is like basically the final step. You're just going to come in here, and this is kind of where the magic happens. So similar to what I said earlier, where when you assign that very small pre-approval fee on OpenSea, where you give OpenSea the permission to move your assets, that's what you'll be doing here with these assets. So it will be divided up into the collections. So, if you only have to do it once, but you'll be able to come through here and just sign very short or very cheap transactions to actually pre-approve this to that backup wallet, if all of that makes sense. And once you do that, you'll be able to finalize it, and your protection plan is set and your assets are protected.
Very cool. Yeah, I love that it's just wallet to wallet. It's a wallet that you own, go into another wallet that you own, and you guys don't really have your hands on any of it. It's just sort of help facilitating that transaction. I love it.
Thanks. Yeah. So, another good way to put it is, we were on a call, I think it was with Zen Academy, and the person hosting it said, you're almost like you're, he said the terms rugging yourself, but it's like you're giving yourself the backdoor access, into the wallet, where it's like, normally if somebody were to do something where it's like, hey, you didn't realize it, but you gave them permission, like you're doing it right here where you're giving yourself that permission to come in and actually pull the assets. And I think that might help people understand how this is all accomplished here.
For sure. Yeah, they can't backdoor you if you've already backdoored yourself.
Yep. Yeah, and so once you finalize this, I'm not gonna waste the time of actually waiting for the Goerli transaction to go through, but then you'll come back here and that panic button will now be populated, that you'll be able to execute, and you'll be able to see all of your assets here and know where they're protected, and you'll have a protected wallet.
Sweet. And just to tie it back in with the question we had earlier, because it was asked 2 different times, just to make sure. So if there's no, say your wallet's been drained and there's no ETH in the compromised wallet to fund it, it sounded like you guys had something, kind of a community treasury set up to where people could get those funds provided to them. Now, would that happen kind of all in one thing, or are you now in a situation where you have to scramble and figure out how to fund that wallet? Could you maybe talk me through that, like in the emergency scenario?
So that feature is not live yet. That's just, a solution that we've kind of thought about and is in the works. But if something were to happen where it's like, oh man, there's no ETH in my wallet, I can't transfer my assets, then in that, the next best move is to use your backup wallet, because it does have access, and it should have, even if it's a small amount of ETH stored on it, it'll be able to actually come in and pull those assets. Because if there's no ETH in your wallet, then the hacker can't take your assets either. They're just stuck there basically. And, maybe it's something where it's like, oh man, they have a script where once you try to send in ETH, it immediately sends it right back out. So then, you think you're out of luck, and they're waiting for an opportunity to actually move your assets. That backup wallet will come in and pull in all those assets, right from underneath them, from if that wallet is compromised and somebody else has control of it.
That's beautiful. Yeah, that has to be one of the most nefarious ones that just constantly drains you, so that you have no way out. So this gives you a way out, and that's pretty sweet.
Exactly.
Well, cool. Is there anything else that you wanted to cover here visually before we continue on?
Nothing really else. I think it's pretty straightforward. You can add multiple wallets here. You can name this whatever you want or remove it. And then, the panic button. There's a lot of stuff coming, and I think that's probably where we should talk about next. After any questions, I can have Micah come in here and just kind of give you her vision, where we're going, and also get some feedback of what you would like to see. Because ideally, this is, Metaverse HQ is a very Web3 native, and your community has been entrenched in this space for a long time. So you've seen a lot of the hacks. You've seen a lot of, people making the threads on Twitter, and you always feel bad for them. And then there's, you know, the asshole that's saying, hey, you got to change your PFP now. You know, it happens every week, it seems like. So if there's something where, you know, like that staked assets comment, you know, that's a great idea. And something that, you know, a lot of people that aren't deep into this space would even really think of. So if you have any feedback, things you want to see, you know, that would also be greatly appreciated.
For sure. Yeah, I'm sure you'll get a lot of valuable feedback from our members here as we kind of go through and get more familiar with the platform. Appreciate that, you know, the generous allocation there for letting everybody get signed up if they want to. We do appreciate that. And we take security really seriously. So happy to see somebody, you know, advancing the security measures in the space. We had one question here. I think I know the answer to it, but I'm going to pass it along here. It's from Britt. She says, I actually have a friend who passed away and his wallet has something like 3 million in Bitcoin and Ethereum in it. He's unmarried, childless, and died without a will. His family doesn't even know about the wallet. Is there anything that can be done to recover the funds?
My initial gut reaction is if there's no way to access, you know, his seed phrase and recover that wallet, you know, I don't think there is at that point. Like, I think that is part of the 20 to 25% that Micah was mentioning that just happens to be gone forever, which is, you know, terrible. And obviously nobody wants that to happen. And it's always very unpredictable. Like, you know, you don't know when that time is going to come. So if you don't have a plan in place, then, you know, it's just a very unfortunate situation. So, you know, people can, or Wes and Micah, if you want to jump in with any ideas, but I do not think that is, you know, that's kind of why this solution was built.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It sounds like the exact problem you're trying to solve, because if you don't have something set up ahead of time, then yeah, you're just kind of SOL.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool. Well, we can move on along. I did want to ask about the Grimmies and how the Grimmies come into play. So you guys are rocking the PFPs. So if you can maybe touch on that for a bit.
I can do this one. So if you've noticed, my PFP and Grimmy's Wes over there, these are the Grimmies. It's a collection of very cute Grim Reapers, kind of paying homage to where we started with that crypto whale back in the day. But it's a wonderful collection. The artist is a woman named Grace Lee. But if you have been following us at all, you might know that they are actually the access token to Webacy. So we were in a private beta for a couple months earlier this year, and only Grimmies holders could access the platform while we were iterating and building and ready to launch the security suite and the season pass that we launched a couple weeks ago. So now our season pass partners, like MBHQ, can access the platform, but our OG Grimmies are still kind of the main way that people can use Webacy and create a free protection plan and so on. So they're kind of our NFT collection, they're our access pass, they're our community of early supporters. So we actually minted 1,000 free ones earlier this year. That was the pre-beta group. And then now we have a mint open for the rest of the Grimmies that we are releasing into the wild. So that mint is ongoing. We're not kind of following the same like PFP dynamics that some projects do, because that's not the point of these. These are the point of this is access to the products that we build today and forever on. And so that mint's still open, and you can also buy off secondary on OpenSea, but that's where they are today.
Beautiful. And these are lifetime passes, I suppose?
Get your free first year for free, and then for every Grimmie that you hold, every year you get one free update. So as Bobby mentioned, you kind of, every time you have a new NFT, let's say you buy something new and you want to protect it, that counts kind of as an update or a snapshot of your wallet. So for every year, for every Grimmie in your wallet, you get one free update. So if you own 10, you probably never have to pay because you get 10 free updates a year, other than gas fees, of course.
Very cool. And then I guess what happens at the end of the year? Will you guys drop more, or what happens then?
So if you have the Grimmie and you're holding it over time, so every year it resets. So if you have 2 Grimmies, you get 2 free updates for that following year, and so on and so on.
Okay, I gotcha. So you have access to the platform in perpetuity. It's just how many updates you get per year is based on your Grimmie holdings.
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay, got it. Well, cool. Yeah, they're very cute. I will add.
Thank you. Did you mint one?
I minted 2.
Welcome. Amazing.
Yeah. So another host that we have here, Ryan H., he was going to host this, and I guess he was doing his pre-interview research, and he minted some, and he was spreading the good word. So I kind of trusted him and followed in his footsteps and minted a couple. But then and then doing my research for this one as well. I kind of see where it's kind of all falling into place.
Yeah, thank you so much for the support. So Mitch from Metaverse HQ is one of our earliest investors and supporters. So he kind of saw the vision from the very beginning. It's been such an honor to have him on board.
Hell yeah. Well, you guys, we're lucky to have him. You guys were lucky to catch him. So yeah, Mitch is a cook. All right, so I want to just kind of go on to some questions that I had, and it's okay if you don't have answers for these. They're just kind of things that popped into my head as I was going through and just looking at your guys' whole mission and your whole ethos and everything. Obviously, death and things like that, it's a very morbid topic. It's a hard thing to market for as well. And I'm curious, I did actually see your all's extension that has a counter of how many days you have left to live, and I thought that was hysterical, really clever. But I was just curious, like, how do you get people in their, early to late 20s thinking about wills? Like, do you guys plan to try and market in that way, or is that just not your demographic and you kind of just accept that as like something that's kind of hard to push through and market to people? Like, where are you guys at with that?
Yeah, you definitely can't get 20 and 30-year-olds to think about their wills and responsibilities at all. So if you've probably noticed, we're strictly focused on safety and security on the forefront. Our backup wallet and panic button are the most popular products by far. But the crypto will, especially for people like whales or people who actually have quite a bit of assets in crypto, it's something that they gravitate towards because we're one of the only options on the market. So it's kind of it's there if people want it and want to use us. And if you're a Webacy consumer, it's there waiting for you. So if you want to be responsible and set that up, that's great. But the majority of our marketing and our go-to-market and our product pipeline in general is strictly focused on security and safety that is useful for people from day one, from today, and they know that they need, and it's actually quite useful for them and attractive for them and sexy for them as users and degens in the space, basically.
Yeah, I love that. That makes a ton of sense. Lean on that as what you're going to market, because it is what's most applicable to everyone. I guess kind of similar to that, the space it kind of leans young, but it also kind of leans anonymous. So I'm curious how I struggle with the idea of the masses wanting to, docs in order to access your platform. So I said I minted, I went to sign up to the platform, and the first thing that it hit me with was give me all of your personal information. So the first thing I did was close the tab and say, I'm going to circle back to this. So is there maybe something you could speak to of why and how people should trust you with their sensitive information?
Yes, I love that you brought this up. So actually, if you remember in Bobby's screen share, there was a kind of a username password login, but there was also the connect your wallet login. So you absolutely can use all of our products and services with never giving us any personal information. So you never need to give us your name, no phone number, no email, no personal information whatsoever. So actually, I think Bobby's resharing his screen, but if you connect your wallet, all you need to do is connect wallet. You don't have to give us anything. So thank you for sharing that.
I'm on the Webacy product team. I'm sitting next to Micah here. And we do believe on the left, the or is a bit too small. We'll have to, we'll make that a little more clear that you don't have to put in your information. We wanted to cater to that for sure.
Appreciate that. I may have just in my haste clicked the wrong button, because I did the wallet connect because I had, I was already holding the Grimmy, right? So I did the wallet connect, sign with the wallet, and then it was a get set up, like it started create your profile screen. So I clicked that, and it wanted, it wasn't too sensitive information, but first, last name, phone number with a verify button stuff. And I was like, let me just chill on this for a minute. And I know there are probably a lot of people that would feel so.
So the clarity here is, luckily, we were able to execute everything without ever giving the information. And then we actually ask for an email, mostly in the beneficiary side of things, to notify your beneficiaries if something's going down, obviously. And then one of the features we have coming up, and I know we're going to talk about roadmap in a second. I don't want to give away too much, but we have real-time wallet notifications coming. So in that situation, we will, need your email and phone number to text you and email you. But obviously that's for a very high level of utility. But that's coming down the pipe.
Very cool. So it sounds like it's it's very much an opt-in type scenario to give your information, which, I mean, to be fair, is that's how it should be, right? Because it's our wallet and it's going to another one of our wallets. Like, why do we need to divulge that stuff? Okay, exactly. Good stuff. Beautiful. Well, those are really the main questions that were jumping out at me, just from sort of like your approach and like your tact on these things. So if you guys want to continue on and maybe talk roadmap, then I'm happy to go there.
Yeah, we absolutely can. So roadmap, I think the guy sitting next to me probably just alluded to it. But a lot of
he teed it up for me. Sorry.
No, perfect. This is what we want to talk about. So I'm personally super pumped about what we're building next, because I think it's going to bring a huge needed utility to the space when it comes to active monitoring, real-time monitoring, and real-time kind of transaction protection, especially as people are clicking on stuff still in the space today, even during this market. So if you've noticed, the products we have now, they work when you set them up ahead of time, which is wonderful for people who have it ahead of time. But like so many people who did not have Webacy and lost access or got hacked, it's not something that we can deal with once it's already happened. It's kind of pre-transaction versus post-transaction. So the next set of features that we're rolling out, they're being developed as we speak, and some of them are actually done. We're just getting ready to roll them out. It's more real-time, like during transaction kind of technology. So he mentioned wallet notifications. So this is stuff where you can get SMS text messages or emails or however you want to set it up, versus over whichever wallets you want to be notified of anything that happens on your wallet. So if you are sent an NFT, or if you transact with something, or if you're about to send ETH out of your wallet, or you do send ETH out of your wallet, anything that gets recorded on chain can be texted to you. So that's, I think, one feature that's actually going to be quite useful, especially in situations where there might be something going on that you didn't expect. So that's one thing we're super excited about. Of course, some of the other things we're working on are things like real-time transaction front running with malicious contracts, or all kinds of stuff that you've probably heard about happening in the security space. We're actively working on this, so we're pumped.
We're looking at even being our own RPC node, where we can effectively help you intercept a transaction, and almost do like a 2FA for everything going through your wallet. If you add the RPC to your MetaMask, it would be like a Webacy RPC, which is pretty crazy. I want to quickly talk about notifications, though. The utility of that is eventually to allow an auto trigger panic button. So if there's a non-approved smart contract that your wallet's interacting with, it could then go ahead and trigger it. So we're like hacking away. There's a lot in the pipeline. Obviously, other blockchains are on the roadmap. We do actually have Polygon coming out in the next, 2 to 3 weeks. They're not really considered another blockchain, but you get what I mean. And so we're trying to increase compatibility. But this is all just so compounded by the fact that you can have as many wallets as you want that you own, obviously. Obviously, Ninja Alerts, you can track other people, but this is for your own stuff, which is really cool. And we also saw the utility for DeFi folks, and just, seeing all your staking rewards and things like that coming in your wallets, if you have them scattered across as many as you have in your universe, that the notifications can be useful too. So there's just so much immediate utility we're trying to bring to the table, and that's pretty much our main pipeline. And we're trying to be more like a Norton for crypto, I guess. It's like a suite of things, as we call it, like a safety suite, and provide as much as we can to the power users and then the casual users.
Dope. Yeah, I love that. I love all of that. The proactivity of having your own RPC. Yeah, that's crazy. Sounds like you guys have some pretty ambitious plans, and you're trying to do everything you can to protect the space. One thing I know that helps a ton of people in the space is an app called Pocket Universe that sort of scans transactions before you confirm them, just so that it kind of prevents you from being in one of these situations where you've granted approvals, or you're now being drained or whatever. So yeah, that's something else just to kind of float around. Is like before the transaction is sent is probably the most critical part, just because we get in this sort of state where it's just you're just confirming shit without you're rushing or whatever. You're just clicking transactions that you shouldn't. So yeah, I think like you said, almost like a 2FA type system, just to make sure that you're on your toes. It goes a long way.
Yeah, we know, and we love those guys. It's great. We want a combination of tools is what we're recommending folks, right? Like, especially for everybody here who is a power user, like, you have your hardware wallet. You have your multi-sig, which is mostly on access and signing. And then we're introducing this dynamic of like dual custody or hybrid custody, as it were, with other wallets that you own. And then the ability to move things around on a trigger. So the movement of the actual assets itself by smart contract is the innovation we're introducing into the ecosystem, and we're super excited about it. And it can extend so many different places, but that's kind of like the additional aspect that we're working on.
Love it. The Norton of Web3. That's pretty powerful. I have a question, sort of, because you're building out this suite of tools, right? And you guys are OGs yourselves, and we have a lot of crypto OGs in the community. A lot of them are probably familiar with something called Safe Haven. So I was going to just kind of throw it out there and just see how your services kind of differ, or maybe your vision or goals differ from Safe Haven. If maybe you could talk about that for a little bit, or if you guys are familiar. If not, that's okay too.
I don't think we've actually looked at them. Bobby, Wes, do you know Safe Haven? Let's see here. We're looking at them now. Wow.
Yeah, I do not.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, well, something to check out. It sounds right up your all's alley. Very, very similar sort of, building out a security tool suite with a lot of similar functionality. So maybe there's a collab or something there.
Yeah, no, we love finding we're trying to create like a safety council, like a UN Security Council, but a council for crypto companies. Because also, like, one thing that got me excited and why I joined the team was that you have this terrible PR have as an industry, right? Like, the news loves talking about these things that compromise people because it gets clicks. And so every day you hear about everyone from terrorists to criminals to hacks, and so we just don't look good. It just feels like everything every day is about negativity, but really there's a lot out there that can keep people safe, and any industry has bad actors, right? And we've I'm sure talked about this at length in other conversations before in our industry. And so having a united front across multiple companies is super powerful. The KYT guys have done quite a bit for this too, as you guys know, like the chain analysis of the world, TRM. We're also talking to those guys, mostly to bring some of their sort of fighting tools and data into the forefront of a consumer product. They actually feed most of their data, as you know, into law enforcement, but imagine having that access as a consumer is pretty cool too. So that's something else that we're also looking at in this space.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said there. Yeah, we've got this reputation as just a scammer's haven, but it's like unanimously we all fucking hate scammers, right? Like they're the worst people that you can fathom, but yet people think that that's what the whole space is about, or that we empower them. So yeah, definitely want to wage war on the scammers in every way possible. And the idea of my wallet being filled with booby traps, so that when somebody tries to come and drain me, it's like you thought, activate my trap card and so on. We had another, it's not quite a guest question, but somebody did throw out that they joined a Discord called Flashbots with white hat devs that help you recover your remaining assets. They're legit and super professional. Maybe you guys could look at doing a collab with them as well. So yeah, it sounds like, there's tons of people in the space that share the same end goal, right? Of just like a safer, more protected and unified space. So yeah, you love to see it.
Yeah, the one topic I know we did skip over I saw it, Bobby, when you were going through the flow, so maybe Mikey talk a little bit more about this, but I did see the Arculus logo within the flow.
Oh, that was Wes teeing up the Arculus partnership. So some of you may have heard of Arculus before. They're a hardware wallet in a metallic credit card form factor, which is pretty convenient. As you all being Ledger users know, sometimes it is weird to have a flash drive type piece of hardware around your neck. And so Arculus is actually, I don't know if you guys know the story behind them. They're product by CompoSecure, which sounds like a fake company name, but it isn't. They're a public company on the NASDAQ. They actually make all the metal credit cards for Amex and Chase. I mean, you guys probably have one of their cards in your wallet, and they expanded into making hardware wallets for crypto, which is awesome. And so we actually are officially partnered with them now. We are providing Arculuses to our power users. Is the best way for us to describe this. So you guys join in and schedule a call with us. You might end up with a free hardware wallet, which, by the way, will be shipped by them, just so you know. They offered us to ship it to us, and us shipping it to users, we're like, no, that doesn't work. We will have you redeem directly with them, but yeah, they're one of our partners. And so we are partnering with more other companies, just echoing off your point about partnering. I know the word partners is so vague, but like in our particular case, it's like we will be embedding Webacy features into other wallet and marketplace and DeFi platforms. And in the other way, we will be offering those users the ability to use our product too. So these are all kind of partnerships that we are launching with. But Arculus, and it is still confidential, so it stays in this group. We know you guys are very used to confidential information, so just keep it within the group. But we will be offering complimentary Arculus cards to, let's assume everybody here probably, because you're all power users. Obviously, you have to sign up first and then schedule something with us, but we'd be more than happy to. And by the way, if you're stage fright, we're not going to force you to talk to us on a one-on-one call. We can do it over Discord as well, to help you onboard through text. But just wanted to offer that.
Very cool. A little bit of an alpha leak there for those listening. Love that, man. Yeah, we are no stranger to sensitive information. So yeah, mum's the word. Appreciate that. That's very sweet. So yeah, not only are you guys offering the one-on-ones to kind of help onboard, get everything set up, but comes with the sweet little perk as well. Appreciate that.
Yeah, we love to take care of our supporters.
Yeah, and we didn't say this, but Mitch actually kind of invented the panic button. So he takes credit for that. So he did it because he knew that everyone in this community would probably want to use it. So this office hours has been a long time in the making. We're very excited. So.
Hey, love that. Yeah, man. I mean, the use case could not be more perfect. People are. It's a shame, but people, despite the continued education and counsel against it, people still use wallets that have a lot of very high dollar assets in them as hot wallets. So yeah, unfortunately it happens. So yeah, the use case for being able to secure all of your stuff with one button is just that's pretty dope. Yeah, shout out to Mitch. That's good stuff. Love it. I have one question here, and this could be just way off, but going through doing some research and stuff, I came across the Forbes article, and it mentioned that you guys may also be building a chat bot that can interact with loved ones after your time has come. Is that still in the roadmap, or was that scrapped? Sounds like a Black Mirror episode.
Webacy Labs is still deep in the works. But yeah, no. So originally, when the company first started, as like early stage companies are, you are iterating on a lot of different ideas and throwing around things that are going to be pretty world changing. So that was one of those, and it's still very much a pet project of mine, because AI and machine learning has been a huge part of my engineering life so far. It's not actively like the focus of what we are doing at Webacy today.
Yeah, I think the way to describe it is like we see the overarching big world changing idea here is that we all have digital property that make up our instances online, essentially. And blockchain has further cemented that, right? It even further executes on the concept of real property, right? Not that anything else you had online through Facebook or Instagram was fake. It's just that you don't actually own it. It's on a centralized server. But long story short is we were like, okay, if this is you, what can we do to extend you beyond a physical realm, which is obviously beyond death, which is super philosophical. We're very nerdy people, so if you want to read a book about this, it's called Digital Souls. It was the most mind-blowing book I've read recently. It's about this idea of our entities extending beyond, like a Black Mirror episode, like you said. But yeah, that still today though, it's like use cases for us when we're alive is the safety and security stuff, which still obviously is the prime area of focus for now. But we appreciate you digging in and digging that up.
No, for sure. Yeah, I think all of us will agree with you too. I mean, we're all bullish on the space. We all think that we're going to spend, more time online, and as a result of Web3, we're going to have ownership over these assets. So there's going to be a lot more value stored digitally. So I appreciate
things that are crossed over. Like we're looking at news like houses getting sold through NFTs, and obviously we have SBTs, and we have even delegatable Ethereum, something that's being proposed, and there's so many innovations that are coming up. And then you see like the big brokerages like Fidelity and Schwab and others that are jumping in now. So if you think about like the future, which isn't too far away, your entire valuable estate can actually be instantly transferable on chain, and then in a way that you dictate, right? Versus letting the courts decide, which through probate, and I don't want to jump into that can of worms, can happen on your death. But that type of simplicity of using blockchain for what I think this is one of the purest use cases of it, right? Is at least for smart contracts is really powerful.
Yeah, I agree, 1,000%. And I think the niche you're carving out, your whole purpose, is a really righteous cause. I think we can all kind of resonate with that. There's a big need for it. I think you guys have a really nice looking product, and I respect your guys' approach to like the handling of information. I think that's all really well done. We're coming up just over the hour mark here, so I just want to kind of open it up and see if there's anything that we brushed over or didn't get to talk about, or maybe something that we didn't get to spend enough time on. But I definitely want to give you guys kind of the floor here for any final thoughts or any parting words for us to kind of walk away thinking about.
I think I'm okay on my end. You've been an excellent host. Thank you for truly kind of doing some research on us and preparing the space and inviting everyone to come and listen.
No, for sure. Yeah, it was a pleasure to have you guys. Learned a lot too.
Wes, anything else?
No, I've got nothing.
So a few takeaways would be, don't forget to leverage your perks. The pre-mint link to use your main wallet that doesn't have your MVHQ token in it is something we'll share in the channel. I think Bobby will post that, and then I think where will we give them the Calendly? Will we post that? We'll post the Calendly too, so you can set up an onboarding session if you'd like. But all of you, if you happen to have an MVHQ token want to protect with, which is still possible, you can go to app.webacy.com right now and start using it, which is really cool.
Yeah, just quick shout out to members listening live or the recording. Go to HQ announcements. I think Seinfeld dropped the announcement, I want to say yesterday. There's some links there just to make sure that you do go ahead and get set up with your your 2 protection plans and your 6-month access and all that. Definitely want to get the most out of those perks. So everybody go sign up. And then, as alluded to earlier, if you do sign up for a one-on-one session, there may be some extra perks beyond just, the gentle hand holding into this whole experience. So yeah, definitely make sure to go hit up all those links. And then I believe, I could be wrong here, so apologies if I'm misspeaking, but I think we'll most likely set up a channel for you guys, sort of like a support channel, just so if people have questions or whatever, and you guys can have some access into the server just to talk to our members and stuff. I could be wrong there. Normally that's how it goes, but yeah, that's something else you can look out for.
I believe you're correct. I think the dev team's currently working on getting it set up. Bobby and Wes should be in there. And also, if you want to, if the community wants to stay up to date with our product roadmap and what we're doing, you're more than welcome to join our Grimmies and Webacy Discord server too, or follow our Twitter. All the social channels we're on there. So if you do want to stay up to date, that's probably the best way to keep in touch.
Beautiful. Love it. Well, again, thank you all for taking the time to come talk to us today, and thank you for the partnership. Everybody go out there and mint a Grimmy.
Woohoo!
All right. Thanks, you all. Have a good night.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for having us.